Hey everybody, welcome to Bura Tech. In this episode, I'm going to be talking about the one thing that will probably change the e-learning industry for good. All right, welcome back. So today looks like it's a pretty good day. Well, it looks like all the fears from last week are mostly gone here. If we take a look at some of these other these other indices here, you can see that, well, they're all kind of up here. Even the NASDAQ is up quite a bit. And well, we'll see what happens here. I mean, at least until, March, when they supposedly will raise rates here. And as you can see, things have gone up. They've kind of gone down a bit. For the most part, things seems like they're kind of going quote unquote back to normal, whatever that normal might be here. But still, in a month here, we're still down about 20%. And if you take a look from the top here, we're still down about 50%. So of course, if things go back up to the top here, you will double your money. Now, of course, we did see, again, you don't really have to be a technical wizard here, but you did see a huge downtrend here that has now been broken here. And I wouldn't be surprised if we do have some kind of consolidation in between somewhere around the 16. I don't think it's really gone up over 16. But basically 16 down to perhaps 14. But we'll see. Well, if we get a definitive close above 16, I guess here, 04-ish, then I think then you could start to see it going up here. Now, of course, technical analysis only gives you a roadmap. It's not exactly the best thing here. But one thing I do want to talk about, for years I've always wanted to add in more functionality to my Udemy courses, and even to my Teachable school, I've wanted to add in just many things. And Teachable hasn't really done any in the way of this here. And I'm on Teachable, but I am definitely going to be moving to Thinkific later, probably the end of February, just because we have to release a bunch of stuff on our own current one, so everything is a little bit more smooth. But the number one reason I'm going to be moving to Thinkific here, and by the way, I will be doing a Teachable versus Thinkific here, and I do think Thinkific is the slightly better school here. Now, of course, Teachable doesn't do a bad job. I've made lots of money on it over the years, and it's hosted a lot of my courses, and I think it's really good. The major difference for me, though, is that I have this extremely low rate with Teachable, and think if it's going to be at least double just because I haven't got onto it. At the time, Thinkific was when I thought Teachable was better when I signed up to Teachable versus Thinkific. But Thinkific is probably the better school now. Not only do I think it just does a slightly better job with everything in terms of like the presentation and whatnot, but I do really think that Thinkific has one feature that will absolutely change the e-learning industry forever, and that's the Thinkific App Store. And the reason why I say this is that it's now possible to make apps and sell those apps to other content creators. And we're working on an app right now. It's really good. Absolutely amazing. Actually, we're working on a bunch of other things as well. There's really cool stuff down the pipe, which I'll be talking about when we go on. The more time goes on, the more I will be talking about it here. All right. But for the most part, you can see that there's a lot of apps there. Now, like a lot of them, like they have a Shopify app. They have a bunch of different apps that you can, use here. And like a lot of the ones are just like integrations with things like MailChimp, etc. But there's a few of them, and I think this one is kind of interesting. It's kind of like a gamification here, right? Like we've got virtual coins, rewards, and motivate students. Really cool app. Right? I think that's a really good feature here. And that's the kind of stuff I've always wanted to put in my school, but really have never done it here. And I really do like the idea of that here. And so that people can make apps that make their school better, and then they can sell those apps to other creators. And there's about 40 to 50,000 Thinkific creators. And by the way, I've emailed Teachable like 5 times about this if they want to make their own app store. So it's possible in the future that Thinkific and Teachable and possibly even others might have their own app store as well. And so you could have a whole other new software as a service industry that is built upon the Thinkific and Teachable app stores, and even others too. So like, for example, students can, just for this one here, they complete lessons, they earn virtual coins, right? These virtual coins can add to their shopping cart, and they could do it across different platforms, right? Like they could maybe perhaps get some coins, on other platforms, etc. And so that's something that's really interesting. And there's a lot of possibility here. Now, last time I talked to Thinkific about this, I think they take 20%, which is really good. Really good. I think 20% is more than fair for what it is here. And one thing that I really like to see Thinkific do is make sure that there are, it's basically mostly subscriptions, because software as a service really does work well on a subscription model, just because like you're constantly needing to employ programmers, etc. The lifetime access doesn't quite work as well. And that's why I see a lot of software as a service. Well, it's a service here. And it's really, I just think it's a really good thing. There's so many cool ideas that I can do. And so I have a bunch of ideas. And, once I get selling into this, there's some real big potential here. Like basically, if you start to think about it, the potential for this is absolutely huge. Now, what does this mean for Udemy here? Well, as I've said before, if we go to Udemy, Udemy isn't really it hasn't made a lot of improvements to its UI, etc. And furthermore, it hasn't really made any kind of big picture. It has made big picture kind of features here. So like something like MoTrain here will not compute on Udemy. I've asked them to do this for 7 years now, and they just don't want to do it. Well, you know what? If someone could go into Thinkific, use MoTrain, and we have 1,000 schools with MoTrain on it, that would be huge, right? But what would be even better is if there's another one that does an even better job than MoTrain, right? Like they have another gamification experience. They have interactive courses, interactive content that just does a better job than what Udemy is offering. That will be won't be very good, because what will happen in the e-learning industry eventually is that the quality will get so good that you'll need a team to produce courses. And as I've discussed many times before, is that Udemy does not like teams making courses. They only like individuals. And I can tell you that when you have a team of people, not only is it more fun, less frustrating to create a course, but the quality is much better. And that's really the key. And eventually what will happen is that the quality of courses will get so good that Udemy won't be able to compete, even with the Udemy for Business side of things, right? Now, they might be able to allow people from UHQ to help the top courses here. But eventually, I think that the top earners will be in the Thinkific, will be at Thinkific. I think if you're serious about making a business out of e-learning, I think you're going to have to go to Thinkific. And I think that's kind of a preview of the review that I'm going to do here. But I really do think Thinkific has come a long way since I first started. And remember, I've been doing this for 10 years. I had a call with the founder a long time ago, right after I got the Teachable. So it's possible I could have been on Thinkific. And what's kind of funny is that sometimes you have to just... sometimes you just have to move to a different service here. It's difficult. But I'll probably keep my Teachable, just because Teachable allows you to copy courses from one to another. And it should be quite... and I do need that for my business. So I'll probably have to do both, which is kind of expensive. But nevertheless, I do think my main site will go to Thinkific. And I am so excited for this app store here. This app store is just amazing. I think it's absolutely incredible. So as soon as I heard about the Thinkific App Store, and what's really funny is that I found this on I think Facebook when I was on Facebook, which, you know, I don't really go on Facebook much anymore, but I saw an ad for this. And as soon as I saw it, I'm like, bam, yes, this is something I've been waiting for years. And they finally come out with it. So I'm really excited to do that. I'm probably going to connect with Thinkific here. I'll probably give you some behind the scenes, well, as much as I can, some behind the scenes, some information about how this process works and you know, how profitable it's going to be. Because again, I think that there's a ton of opportunity if you're into e-learning, that this is the biggest thing that's happened in the last probably, well, I would say almost 10 years. But, you know, that's probably a bit too much. I would say in the last 5 years, the Thinkific App Store is probably the number one thing that's going to move the e-learning industry forward here. And it's that for a lot of reasons. First, it makes courses better. It makes content creators more wealthy. And furthermore, it allows people to start working in the industry, right? And Udemy should have been that company that has done that fostered all of these things, but they just don't want to do that. They want to sell a subscription and then hopefully get a multiple in the revenue. And I don't think that's the right answer. I think that Thinkific has a much better approach to this here. And it could give a lot of Udemy instructors and Udemy, the company, a run for its money here. All right. So if you really like this channel, you can go and basically pledge for this Kickstarter. It's the last day, so please pledge for this Kickstarter as much as you can here. It's a bundle within bundles. We have web development, app development, where you can build Android and iOS courses. We have machine learning, blockchain, and we also have game development and interview prep. This is the number one bundle within bundles of courses that you should need for 2022. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in another video.